Thanks everyone for joining. Today is Saturday, November 6th. Welcome to the stock group. We're going to jump right into it. Let's see what the market did this past 2 weeks. So let's look here. So we can go through the Dow, see what was going on with it. So 1, 2. Let's see. So actually the past 2 weeks here been pretty good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So this is 2 weeks ago, Monday. Oh, sorry. That's a monthly. Let me get to a daily. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Daily chart. So about 2 weeks ago here. So yeah, so the Dow closed up, looked like all-time highs on the Dow. So that's good. If you're holding any industrial or Dow components, you're up there. Let's look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ has been running as well. So any tech-related stocks, they should be going up pretty well for the NASDAQ. And this trend still looks like it's pretty much intact. All right. If you're holding any small caps, oh wow, Russell been clowning the last few days. So the Russell, particularly this week, Russell is, extended its move to the upside pretty well. So any small cap stocks, and if you have any of those, they're doing. If they follow the index, they're doing pretty well. All right, let's take a look at the S&P. All right, and S&P is continuing its ascension as well. So let me continue this slope. So we can still see that we're in this uptrend, and you can see how far this goes back on the S&P. Move that out. We're technically do it like this. Get here, and then it started a new uptrend after it broke down back in October, and started a new uptrend with a much steeper base. But I'm gonna extend this one as well because it's really a continuation in a way. It had a trend. You know what? Let me make this a little bit bigger for you all. 1 second. Yeah. So let me extend that out. So it broke the trend, came back down in October, but then just this week it actually broke above that trend line and it's continuing higher. So this is the intermediary trend, but this is the longer trend. And if we look at, and this is off, I think, the pandemic lows actually. Let's see. Yeah, actually since November of last year. So you just had the S&P itself, So this is probably the broadest of the market indicators. So the 500 top stocks. So, all right. So particularly for the week, it's been a week. So it looks like everything was up for the week in the broad market indexes. So let's look at some of the individual stocks. So here's Apple. See, Apple, it actually started the week a little bit higher. Ended last week a little bit higher. Started this week down just a little bit. Recovered last couple of days down. I just saw this earlier. This is Airbnb. So they must, came out with earnings. So they must have crushed the earnings because it got a huge run up on Airbnb here. Airbnb is up. What's that? So from the gap to where it is now, it's up 13% on yesterday. So if anybody has any Airbnb, that's good. So I'm going to show you all this chart here. So this is one I've been following for a while, and it got back in this area here. So any of y'all that have been around for a while, y'all know that this is a triple bottom, right? Here, here, in this area here. So I waited for it to come down. It broke above and I got in somewhere in this area and I rolled it up. And I sold this week. I sold like all of it, but then the next day had a huge day down. I bought back in a little bit. And so now I still have like a quarter of the original position here on here. But the reason why I bring this up is, again, looking at your patterns and having your watch list, you can look for certain areas to, and if it hits your area and you have the confirmation, you can go ahead and enter that trade, and you may get a bounce like this. And in this one I did particularly. So so it's the importance of having your charts and watching them in your watch list. I'm gonna show you another example of that as well that happened recently. Let me show you this one. The stock got killed this week. So this stock was on a crazy run from this APPS is a mobile phone based stock. So you can see the stock is on a crazy run from August 20th, but earnings came out earlier this week. I guess that's Tuesday, and they got rocked. So let's see what percentage drop here is. Then I'm gonna zoom out. Okay, so they're down 24% off of earnings, right? So let's look at the larger context where they are on this chart. So it looks like they're closing in on a support level of 69. So still want to continue to see what they're going to do. So in this case, I'm going to just draw a downtrend line there. And I'm going to see if it's going to continue to go down or if it's going to stop and break this downward trend. And this slope is pretty steep. So I wouldn't be surprised if they break it pretty soon, but don't want to anticipate. And the reason for that is, in this case, let's say I have it, so I've been following this stock for a while, and I can say here I had a support point at 79, and I said, 79 would have been a good entry. But if I would have jumped that trade, I would have been in here only to come down to 70. So by using your downtrends as well, what this would do is if there's a stock that you're watching and it's started to decline, if you put your trend line on it and just draw the trend line, what you're doing is waiting for a break above to the right side of this trend line once this stock reverses. Now, when you do that, and I'll show you an example here. So let's just say we were tracking this one right here. So let's move this over. So all right, so say this was happening in real time, right? Drew my trend line down, but you can see once it gets to the right of this trend, and I highlight it with this little circle. Once it gets to the right side of that, this is your confirmation to say, hey, this trend is, if I can get the right anchor points here. Yeah. That's your confirmation to say, hey, the downtrend has been broken. And this is the area that you may want to look to enter. Because if you waited, so that support level didn't hold, this support level didn't hold, this support level didn't hold, but you got your reversal. So the only thing you're gonna miss is if you're patient and you'll wait on it. And I'll draw this in a different color. So yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to get this. Oh, okay, I got it. 1 second. So in this one, just color this one purple. All right. So on the purple side is, I wouldn't have caught this most extreme bottom here, but if I waited for the confirmation, then I'm waiting for the right side to be on the right side of this me move this trend line, of the right side of this downward trend. Then this can be my entry point here in this yellow. So if I tighten it up a little bit, so I'm looking for an entry in this area of the yellow, whereas on the purple side, that's still to the left of the downtrend. Because think of, let me show you. So if, let's say if I extended this, right? Because that's just where it ended. But let's just play, you know, in a scenario. Let's say that it went much lower to this left side. Say if this was extended down. If I would have jumped it here, thinking that this was the bounce, but it only continued to the downside, I can be down here at the 48 or the 41 if it had kept going lower, because I didn't wait for the confirmation to the upside. Does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we got it. All right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. So that, and you know, and I learned this by just going through charts. Actually, with you all, one day we were just charting trend lines, and I saw this, and you know, so just by being patient and waiting for your confirmation, it can definitely help you on those. Okay, so let's see. All right, we got Andre. Let's look at that FUBO. Let's talk about that one. FUBO. All right, so so this is FUBO. So you can see FUBO here in an uptrend from October. Then it started going sideways, kind of settled down at this 28 level. And then this past couple weeks, it hit a low of that 28.16, 28.01, and then it's just been up. So, but you look at the last 3 days, topped out at this 30, what's that, 35.06. And look at this. Look at where the top actually happened to stop. It's pretty crazy, right? See that? That's from that previous top over here. So it touched that previous top from back in June, and then it retreated down. So, but FUBO has definitely been a good trade, and so looking for see what's going to happen at this 31.53 area. So Dre, I know we put that option in on it. So it should have exited. So we put a 32 in. It got called away yesterday, so it expired. So we should be able to put this trade back on Monday. So just gonna do another cover call on this on Monday. And if anybody else wants to go through the cover call stuff, we can talk about that a little bit more later. But this is a FUBO, and if anybody was trading this FUBO chart, so you can see here, what we have been playing on it is this 25 area, 25 entry, and we was playing 25 to 28 for a long time. But you can see that it broke out of that. So if I extend this box here, you see it broke out of this area as a box. Now we're in a higher area. So now it's from the 28 to the 33-ish. So that's the newer box. So if FUBO gets back down to 28, you may want to look to buy as a level of support. And if it holds, you can look for a bounce, probably at least to 31. But we're still even in a higher box here from this 35 to this 31. So we want to see what's going to happen here, if it's going to maintain this area here or if it's going to retreat lower. So This 31.58 is a level that we're going to be watching this coming week. Right? Any questions? Yes, no, maybe. All right. Let's see. Who else we got? I think I saw Brenda. Brenda, let's talk about your Meta Facebook. So they went through a name change. Talk to me about this chart, Brand.
Oh, at the moment, I'm just trying to wait. I'm waiting it out just to see what's going to happen because it looks like it's starting to wake back up again.
So, seeing that previous example that we talked about, right? What are we seeing here now?
Yeah, like you were saying, it's on that right side there, and so It looks like people are getting not happier with it again.
Yeah. So this was your confirmation that downtrend was broken from back in September. It was broken. You got the confirmation here. So you can see that there's entries and it's getting close to that support of the 303. Didn't quite get that far down, but got to the 308. And so now it started its own little uptrend here. So if you look at this, just in terms of what it's done recently, 350 should be in play. So you're talking another what, $17 and no, not 17. I'm sorry. We're right here at the you should have another $9 in it, $8.40 some cent to this 350 level to see if it's just gonna stall out there because you got a couple points, 1, 2, 3, and back here. So yeah, it may have a little stall out at this 350. But yeah, what are you still? Were you adding to this, or I forgot what your position was in this?
Yeah, I was just holding it at the moment.
You're still holding? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Are you still in that alley, or was that? I think you said that was a trade, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had traded him out, but I am looking at him now just because it looks like, and I don't know if it's because of anticipated earnings or what, but it looks like he's flipped around as well.
All right, let's see.
I just haven't jumped back in yet.
Oh wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's the same thing. So it's crazy. I haven't even gone through and looked at this oddly, but you can see that there. Confirmation to the right side, and look how this ran.
Yep.
Guys, when y'all see this, I mean, I ain't even look at this chart, but just look at this. So, and let's look and see the larger context. Yeah, came back down to this 58, and it bounced. So you can see this previous 58 area back, and even a little bit lower on the 53 back a year ago, 2 years ago. This is 2019. But you can see how there's a lot of history there, and that's where the bounce occurred. And so this stuff, so if you're in a stock or you're following a stock that's in a downtrend or pullback, draw your downtrend line. And okay, so let me speak on this a little bit. So you say, well, how do you draw the trend line either up or down? All right. So what you do is, let me move this back. So you say, okay, so you take the top of one of the bars. So you go here, you take your little diagonal chart indicator. You click on the top of the bar, and then now I'm just looking for something in this down piece that I want to use another point. So you see this little bitty bar. Let me make it a little bit bigger. You see this bar right here. That little top of that. Top of this right here is what I'm looking at. So if I start with this one here, top of this candle and touch the top of this candle. And then at that point, I just want to extend the line, but I just want to keep the slope the same. So that's how you draw your downtrend line. Now in there, I extended it because it actually reversed here. So I can pull it back. Again, still touching that same top of that bar. I can pull it back here. Now you can see your area where you got where the stock bounced and it got up to the right. So I can close my confirmation bubble a little bit tighter and move it to the right. Try to move it here. There we go. So that's my confirmation. Grab everything but the right thing. There we go. So that's my confirmation to the right. And then now if you want to draw the uptrend, it's just the opposite. You find a bottom candle, you click on it, and I'm gonna use this little red bar here. Just touch that and then extend it out. So downtrend, uptrend. Right, so that's how you draw. That's how you draw those. And it's the same tool, this diagonal tool here. So this ollie, it's bounced pretty well off of this 58. And let's see. Yeah, and really that 76 is the next area of resistance. If it can get back there. So that's another 4 points. So
Mike, take a look at V because I'm debating on that
Visa.
That puppy. Yeah.
Yeah. This is definitely one to do. I looked at it and MasterCard this week, and I got scared and I didn't pull the trigger on either.
Yeah, I haven't yet either, but I was wondering.
So if you say we're gonna take this bar here and just extend, right? So really, I guess to be technically right here, then we is an uptrend. Let me just do this real quick. 1 second. This is kind of flat sideways. And then you got this. Then you got this to the downside. So that's, I know it's kind of busy, but what happened here was earnings. So earnings came out and it got crushed. And so it just went down. But you can see as well as, hold on 1 second, guys. Give me a second. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I'm back. So on this Visa, it's pretty much the same. Got this earnings piece came down close to. So let me scroll out here. You could say I could actually move this trend line. Move this support line up for these bottoms here, and where I'm really looking is it's right here. So you can say, hey, to adjust it. And if you extend that across, we're right in this area, right? So you're getting close to the support level, 204, 207. So Brent, I think this is definitely a good entry. And so if you look at the magnitude of this pullback, talking a 17% downward move. And so if you can recapture some of that, should this 226 should be back in play, and so you got a good bounce yesterday, a gap up, and then a move. So you're talking off of the lows of 206. So you're already up, well, if you waited for the confirmation, got in here at 211. So it was up 5 or 6 points yesterday. We're actually 7.8 yesterday. So that's actually a good one. And another one to go with that, Bren, is if you look at Visa, kind of look at MasterCard as well. Same thing, downtrend, broke the trend, kind of went sideways, up again, crushed on earnings, confirmation. And they got their confirmation a day or so ago. But this one in here, so you can see this bounce from the 330 to the 348. I looked at both of these and I got scared, and I shouldn't have. I should have just trusted it and went in here. So that could have been 18 points, 17 points off of this 330. So I missed that one.
Do you think these might even be a longer term with possible potential of like interest rates and all that going up next year?
Well, yeah. So just in general, the digitalization of cash, so as more people just go to, mobile payments or electronic payments, they do well. So if you just look at you take a long-term view, this is going back to, 2016. So in the larger scheme, this trend has just been broken by that pullback recently. But this is a 5-year, so 5-year trend. So you're talking a split adjusted price of 87 to 3, where are we at now? 348. So yeah, definitely a longer trend. Now it's funny, we're in this area here. So if this bounce is solid at this 330 and continue upward, that'd be great. But if you look at that in a larger context, can this area hold? If it does, then it should be nice for a base much higher. But this 330, and we got the bounce hard this week, but it's just one day or 1 week, part of the week, in terms of this longer trend. So if it can go sideways is good for now until we build a base and get some more bars to see if it's going to start that ascent again. So I would say yes, but watch that 330 like a hawk. Because if it turns and comes back down, and I would look at that in the context of the larger market as well. So if you see the S&P starts to break down, then I would say, hey, you got to be mindful. Will other stuff go down with it as well? So, Yep.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about MasterCard. I was watching Visa, but I hadn't thought about MasterCard. But it looks like MasterCard had a bigger bounce yesterday than the Visa did.
Yeah, and I would say on both, just if you look at one, look at the other. And then another one you may want to look at is PayPal as well. What is it?
Yeah, I got him on my watch list.
Is it PL? I don't know what PayPal is. Oh, there it is. PYPL. Okay. Yeah, so similar. And you know what? And if you throw PayPal there, you throw Square. I know Square has been in a downtrend as well. So let me draw the, yeah. So if you take that bar, extend it out. So, but you can see here, you have the support level on this 225. So now this is one thing that I look at as well. I trust horizontal support more than I trust the trend. So I look at, here on this bounce of this 225, that's good. But since it's still in a downtrend, I want to see if this is broken. So now what I can say is, let me do this. See, I extended it there. But these last few bars, let me go to a daily on this. But these last few bars, this downtrend has been accelerated. It's the same chart. I just went from a weekly to a daily. This downtrend here, the slope of it has gone down more, but I'm at a good support area here. Now, I still want to wait for the confirmation because I could still go lower. So I want to wait till we get a break to the right side of this. But being here at this 228, that's a good area. And then this 213. So I'm using a combination of the I'm interested at this 225 level because this is horizontal support. But in this case, I want to wait for the confirmation because I want to see if that's where they're going to turn it. There's a possibility that they will turn it here, given what they've done, 4 times before, back in April, back in March, back in February, back in January, right? So this 225 has been a major support area. So just
see, and I'd wonder about that just because of how everybody was a good day yesterday, but it was still had a pretty weak day yesterday. So that would make me wonder a little bit.
Yeah. No, and it makes sense. And so they could have their own problems in the larger, because like their peers had good days yesterday for sure, and they didn't. So they still may have some more downward pressure. And actually, yeah, they just came out with earnings a couple of days ago, so it could still be in sympathy to those earnings that came out,
right.
or are due to come out today. No, earnings come out. I'm sorry, earnings come out Monday on the 8th. Yeah, they haven't come out yet. So watch that to see what happens on the 8th. And I would say too, whatever PayPal's earnings are, good or bad, see if that is reflected in the price charts of MasterCard and Visa, because sometimes you'll get sector. They're all part of the same sector, and if one does bad or one does good, sometimes it can have a kind of ancillary effect on those other stocks. So, all right, let's see what else we got here. See, got a new number, 770-363-3666. I'm not sure who that is. All right, let's go to Angie. Angie, what did you have in here? Okay, you got DAL. Let's look at these airlines. Are you still playing the airlines, Angie?
Yeah, I just haven't really been paying too much attention to it because they're not really doing anything. I just did. I took profit with ChargePoint. I did a trail and stop loss on that.
Okay, what's that?
And I was
what's this? Charge. Okay, I got it. CHPT. Oh wow, yeah. Oh no, this thing has been rocking from 17 to 24. Oh yeah. So this is a huge upstream. Let's see a bigger narrative here. Yeah, this is another one that went down, got the break, got the confirmation here, and now you're in this uptrend. And you had a trail and stop. What do you put this trail and stop at?
You mean like the percentage? Like
no.
5%?
So yeah. So where did you set it, and where did it get you out, or are you still in it and it just haven't triggered yet?
Oh yeah, I'm still in it. I just sold a few. Like I sold like I don't have a lot, so I think I sold. I sold like 4 shares. I had 5.
Okay, good stuff.
Yeah, and
But no, that's good. So let me just ask you, just looking at this chart, what do you see?
Oh boy, since it's on my phone, I can't see it.
Yeah. Hold on, let me help you out there.
Let's see. Because it's at 24 something. Yeah, it's at $24 and some change now.
Yes, ma'am.
But it made my what do you call it? My buying power go up to over $200. I was pretty happy with that. I know that's small change, but I'm not able to really pay attention because of me working. I'm working right now, but I'm okay. I can talk right now.
Okay.
So I just got comfortable with an understanding. Okay, put the trail and stop loss on when you see it going up. So I did that with ChargePoint, and I did it with Macy's. And, Macy's, I'm actually out of it right now.
Okay.
But now I feel like, is it going to go down again? And should I buy more? Because I've seen it go down and then go back up again. And then I was going to ask you a question about earnings and how I should pay attention to that. So remember, I'm not always able to listen because I'm working. So you said it. Okay. All right.
Yeah. No, that's good. So I put out so you can go to even if you miss a meeting, you can go to the to YouTube. I'll put the link back in here. Let's see. And it's for everybody else as well. I try to put these out. So if you miss a meeting and you want to catch up, I date them and I put them in this playlist. If it show for me here. Yeah. So if we go to this playlist, and I'll put the link in the chat here. But yeah, so here's a playlist here, and in here I put the latest ones up. So we didn't meet last week, so the last one was October 23rd. But I try to put these up for the benefit if you need to review something that we covered, or if you just missed it all together, you can go back and watch the previous meetings. So, and I got a couple subject specific ones like setting up trading view, creating watch lists, drawing support and resistance, scaling in and out of positions, psychology of trading, order types, support and resistance, understanding candlesticks. So here's some topical ones, and then the other ones are just meeting recordings. So like we're recording this one, so I'll get this one up. So it's just yeah. So let me put this link in the chat so everyone will have it.
Okay. And then I have I think I asked you about this once before. About crypto. Did you say that you're not really doing anything with that?
Oh no, I'm pretty knee deep in crypto. Yeah. Actually, I got a recording that we talked about a bunch of crypto last night with some other people. I'll put that up and I'll get you a link to that one for the crypto. Now we were kind of all over the place last night, some pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, tell you what, let's get through this. If you're still in listen mode, I'll ping you back and we can do a little crypto as well.
Okay.
But in terms of this, so if you put that trailing stop in, so this is where I brought it up on the right. So you all should be able to see my order entry on the right. So let's say, for instance, you said you had 5 shares, right? You can put a trailing stop in. So this is just this particular interface, but the concept is the same. So say I want to sell 5 shares and I'm going to do a trailing stop. What you can do down here is the price you want to trail at. So let's say we're looking at this. So it hit a high of 26.12. All right. So there's so stocks have a thing. There's an indicator on the stock. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. This gets out of my way. Let me move this to my address bar. So on stocks, there's and it's on my phone, but I don't want to get off that screen. But I'm gonna go here. There's a thing called a ATR, which stands for average true range. So for checkpoint, so CHTP, I just want to see what the average true range. All average true range mean is just that in a typical day, how much does this stock, what's the volatility of the stock? What's the range from the high and the low of any particular day over some time? So this is the average range up and down. So checkpoint has $1.10 range, right? So if I wanted to use that data to put in this trailing stop for here based on that, so it hit a high of 26.10. So if I want to do a range on that, I could say, hey, put in $1.10 trailing stop here on the right side. And what that would do is, so if you say here, what did I say? That was 26.10. And so that will put a actual stop right at 25. And so in this case, if we put it on this bar, it would have got stopped out at 25 because it came down and it got below 25. So it stopped us out at 25. But by the same token, if this would assume that these last 4 bars wasn't there and it was continue to go higher, as the stock continues to go up, the trailing stop still trails it by a buffer of $1.10. So if it went from, say, 25.60, let's say it went to 27.60, then the trailing stop would be at $26. Then if it went to 28.60, then the trailing stop will be, it'll be $1.10 minus the 28.60, so it'll be, what's that, 27.50. You see what I mean? So it'll trail by $1.10 to the upside, but the highest point it gets, it'll lock in whatever it is. And so if it starts to come down, so let's say it hit 29 and we have the $1.10 trailing stop and it started to retreat. When it hit 29, so you take 29 minus $1.10, so that'd be 27.90 would be your point. And if it just starts to come down, once it hits 27.90, it'll just sell at that point. So that's how a trailing stop. It trails the price of the stock by the amount that you put in. So if I did it here, I'll just go ahead and enter that. I'm just going to review. So if you look into the right of my screen here, it'll say sell 5 shares, trailing stop 110. And so it'll put that on. And again, since the last trade on here is 24.69, that means that it will sell this stock at 23. If I can do the math, what's that? 23.59. So that will be the price that it would execute at if it started to come down from this 24 level. So does that make sense? So what you're doing on that trailing stop, that was a good trade, Angela, because you had a lot of profit here from off of these lows of the 17s and the 18s. So that's definitely a good trade.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that. And I also did the same thing with Macy's, but I don't have Macy's anymore, but I will go back into Macy's because Macy's goes up and down a lot, and I've made money a lot on Macy's. So, and I can't watch the stocks. So yeah. I like that because it allows me to not be concerned. I don't have to sit there and watch it.
I'm glad you mentioned that. That's a good point. For those of you that are don't have a whole lot of time to spend on it, but you want to be in the market, this is where I think you can use like ETFs. So for instance, Macy's is in retail. So if you wanted to do retail, there's a retail ETF. But if you even wanted a broader market, so like, we start off the meeting, I go through the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell, and the S&P. There's an S&P ETF. It's called, there's several, right? But you can buy the SPY, SPY. And what it does is going to track the performance of the S&P, and you can buy it. And so whatever the market does from an S&P perspective, you can just follow that and just buy that as a single stock per se and track with that. And whatever the overall market does, you're going to match that performance. So so you can do that. You can look at the individual names that, we talk about, or you can do, there are ETFs for all types of things. So one of the S&P ETFs that I like, if I don't trade the SPY directly, because the fees might be a little bit higher, I'll trade VOO. This is a Vanguard. So Vanguard is like a mutual fund ETF provider, and they're known for having very low fees. So if I wanted to trade the S&P, I just would buy VOO. And actually, I have some VOO in one of my accounts. So I buy it and just hold it because I know it's going to track what the S&P 500 is doing. So, and if you want to do that for NASDAQ specific stocks, you got the triple Qs, QQQ, and it's going to track the performance of the NASDAQ 100, right? The Dow is DAI, the Dow Jones Spider. And then I think the Russell is the RUT, and maybe the RUT or the YWM. Let me see. I gotta find that one. I don't know the Russell one that well. If I can spell Y, I'm sorry, RTY is the Russell one. So you can use these ETFs to, you know, to your advantage, and it gives you the same exposure if you just want to follow the broad market, if you don't have time. So I would definitely recommend one of those for you. And you can still do the individual stocks, but if you want to do a mix and match, say, hey, I'll get the VOO, maybe use a portion of my portfolio just to buy VOO, and then the rest of them I'll look at individual stocks. So you can do mix and match like that as well, Angela. So, right.
Thank you.
Say again.
I said thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you much. All right, let's see who else we got here. Hey Siri, we hadn't talked to you in a while. How you doing? It's funny, I say Siri, and every time I say it, my iPhone kick in. Kamala, Siri on?
Hey, Siri just stepped out. Mike, how are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good. All right, let me know when she gets back. I'll pull up her stock.
Yeah. Actually, she's looking towards the ARK.
Which one?
ARK.
ERK?
Yeah, A for Apple, R for Romeo, K for Kite.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Which one?
The first one.
The first one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it.
The ETF, actually.
Oh, you know, so yeah, so it's it'd probably be ARK. Yeah, so it's either the ARKK, ARKG, ARKF.
ARKK, actually.
KK. Okay, yeah. Yep. Yeah, so on this one, this is the Kathy Woods fund. So it's been in it's been kind of in a range, really. So if you see here, you can go all the way back here to March. Come on, why is it not drawing? There we go. So you can see this, it's really just been in this range. So it's coming toward the, you know, top quarter half of this range. And if it can break out, got a, you know, small little uptrend. So I could actually draw horizontal here. And so I can take that. Let's do this. So within that larger range, you got this tighter range here, and I'll make it yellow. So even that in the larger green box, you got this tighter yellow. So if she was trading it, she can buy it at the 114 and sell at the 123 and just repeat it. So let me show you the ins and out. So in, out at the top, in here, back out 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 the top. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if she were to have traded this or look to trade this going forward, this range. So if we were to measure that out, you're talking, what's that? 7%, 7.4%. So just round it off. Say 8%. You know, just make it easy math. 7. I'll take the lower 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 35% if you traded this 5 times, buying at 114.70 and selling at 123.28. So this is really in a range. Got a little bit of the larger range on the green, but the one that's repeating the most is the inner yellow box here. So as you identify these patterns, you can start to see different things, and then, you know, form a thesis to try to trade it. If this is a long term and she's just buying it to hold it, what I would then do is just use either that 114 area or this 110. Every time it gets down there, just add more to my position.
Yeah, she's looking for long term only, Mike.
Okay. Yeah. So she can just continue to add to the position there. And let me go back to, because I think she also had, let me see, come on, I think she had another stock she was looking at. Okay. Yeah. So actually she was in that checkpoint as well that we just talked about with Angela. So I don't know if she has been adding to it or not. So
she just left that. Actually, she just put some money and left that.
Okay. Yeah, so tell her to check that checkpoint then, because that may be doing well for her as well.
Sure.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Actually, she's planning and ship actually the crypto one, Mike.
Okay. Yeah, give me. Let's get through the stock piece, and now I'll circle back on that crypto because I know Angela had a question on the crypto as well.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Come on. Let's see what else we got on. Milt, how you doing, sir? Let's go to
How you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Let's go to PLTR. I was looking at that one this week. It's doing pretty well. Still trading the option in it.
Oh, this has been very good to me so far. But
yes, sir.
Next week, earnings.
Yes, I see him. Let me move this out of the way. Yep.
Because the time of year it is, this is the time where I tend to take more risk.
Okay.
But I decided not to.
So how are you playing it?
I have been doing two things. First, I let them take my stock, and I lost about 11 cents on that. But overall, this is me playing the wheel. Overall, I made over $1. So now I'm on a new turning where I have cash in those stocks. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing a secure put on these. Mm-hmm. My 27, which would have expired Friday, I have extended to next Friday for another 27.
Okay.
If earnings go the way I hope they go, I'm going to get all the premium on both of those.
All right. So you're looking. So I'm pulling up on the screen to the right. So it looks like that 20. Hold on, let me make sure I'm looking at the right one. Yeah. So the 27 around 90 cent, 92 cent here. So if you see, right here. I don't know if you can see my cursor.
The put.
Oh, the put. Oh, you're doing the put. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm in cash.
Oh, so you're in cash. Oh, okay. So you're gonna do the 27 put, collect this $1.88, and then have them put it to you. So you got a cost basis of what's that? 22? No, so it'd be 12. So what's it be 20? What's that? 6? 20? Is that 26.12? Yeah. I can't do math that fast in my head. I said 27 minus the 188. Yeah. 25.12? Wow.
You see where I'm doing this now?
Oh.
But earnings, that's why it's so good, because you know about that ball crush at the earnings, though.
Yes. Oh, wow. Man, I might need to look at that. That's all right there. No, yeah, that's great. I'll tell you about the thing I was doing on the FUBO. But yeah, I didn't even. That's crazy. Yeah, I like that.
Why I let them take my stock.
Yeah. No, I like that. So actually, I guess I'll bring it up now. Let me go to this FUBO because I did. So I've been running that FUBO weekly. So the option premium in there has been juicy. I'm talking 4% a week, Milt. It's crazy. So let's pull it.
Yeah, before you go in there, let me warn everybody to play this. This doesn't work on all stocks. It's just certain stocks. It's just like magic on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. So I got called away today at the 32. So I'm looking to enter a covered call at the 33, but I'm hearing you say go ahead and do the secure put at 33. Let them assign it to me. That'll give me a cost basis of what, $30.39? Is that right? Hold on. Just trying to do my math here. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And then wait for the next week and then sell. So do you alternate between the secure put once it gets put to you, then you do the covered call and then wait for it to get called away and then just repeat that cycle again?
Yes. What normally goes on is when I lose money on there, that's when I let them take it. Overall, as you can see, if after you play this for a bit, your basis is so low. If you lose $1 or $2, you don't care.
So when you say so talk about that a little bit more. So when you say lose $1 or $2, are you meaning that lose $1 or $2 that it went up beyond what your strike was?
Yeah. Yes, basically, because that's the problem, especially with your stock here. This stock can run in a hurry.
Yes.
And the next thing you know is with a cash secure put, it's not that bad. What you do, just sell it real quick, probably for pennies, and then you buy the stock.
Right.
But if you're not quick enough, you could lose a lot of money because you see this stock moves a lot.
Yeah, it's been going crazy here. But and so I was just happy with the little 4%, but I guess you say I can do even better, huh?
Yeah, I don't know why, but puts seem to make you more money.
So you let them put it to you. So let's say in this case, right? Let's say I sold this 34. Sell this. Well, no, let's just do the 33 that I figured out. So that'll give it to me at what 30? What I say? 30, 20, 30, 39. Yeah, 30, 39. If I sold it for the 261. So if they put it to me 30 at the 33, my cost basis would be 30, 39. And then the following week, I will own the stock, and then I can come back to the opposite side and then sell the call against it. And so do you only put on the cash secure put once they call it away from you? Is that your re-entry back into the position?
Here's the deal with that. Sometimes I look at what the environment is.
Okay.
Now, it's November, December, January time frame, so things tend to go up that time frame. So a cash secure put is sort of like a positive bet on something. You're betting it's going to go up.
Right.
So this time of the year, I like to use that because that's how I'm going to probably make the most money and the most chance that I'm not going to end up in a negative situation.
So let me ask you on this FUBO, given that same scenario, where would you put the cash? Where would you enter the cash secure put at? What would you use as your strike?
I don't want to talk about this one because I don't follow it enough, but I see it's just looking at the chart.
No, I'm just saying in terms what's your selection criteria? That's really what I'm asking. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it basically just taking a look at this. What I would like for you to do is actually what I've been doing now to help me out is I have been drawing all the horizontal lines on there and the vertical to see exactly what's going on with the stock itself. Okay. And then I look back at history to see what's going on.
Okay.
So that's what I would do first when any stock I look at now.
Okay. So let me just do that real quick. 1 second. Get it larger. So for everybody else, this is just the basic, looking for peaks and valleys. I won't take that top one there, but I'll take this too based on that double top there. Maybe this one here at this point. I'll take that one. All right. So that's pretty much, and I'll take this peak right here on the left because it corresponds closely to where sorry about that. Where it corresponds closely to here. And I'll take this bottom. I'm gonna do the bottoms. I'll take that bottom here. And I'll take this bottom here. Now, I could take this bottom area right here. And I will actually, because I got a bunch of touches on here. All right, so there we go. So there you go, Milt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you see exactly what it has done this last week, and exactly, yeah, you saw it touch there, and it's on its way down.
Yep. But
it haven't broke that trend line yet.
Correct.
So that's what I hate things like this, because it's hard to make a decision on that, because it's like it's in the in between right now. It hasn't decided what it's going to do. Now, saying all that, then let me take a quick look at these options over here. Good God.
That's
yeah.
Hey,
obviously, I've been looking at the wrong stocks.
Hey, they've been paying Milt. This, I'm telling you, this is 4%. I'm on my third week of 4%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look closely at this, because I think I'm gonna get in, and when I'm gonna spend my money, I like to focus a lot more on what's going on here. But this looks really good.
Yeah.
But
so,
unfortunately,
let me
what I would look for is that trend line.
Yeah, let me show you this real quick, Milt. So this is a site I recently subscribed to. Let's see. Why did it log me in? Hold on, let me log back in. Okay, there we go. So what this does is I can put a bunch of stuff in a watch list, and then I can go and see what the best things are. So let me go to FUBO here. All right, so this tells me where my FUBO is. Let me do fewer. Okay, so November 12th is the next one. So we're saying, so we're at 32. So this is really close to what I did last week. So I bought a 31.92 and I sold a 32. So I collected 8 cents on I had an 8 cent upside to the strike, but the premium was $1.17. So you can see here, if this holds true for Monday, I can buy the stock. Let's just say it opens flat. I can buy at 32.82 and then sell this 33. And we're talking, this ain't crazy, but yeah, you're talking at 8%. But they got earnings coming out Tuesday. Yeah. Earnings is Tuesday. So that's why those premiums are so juicy. So this is even double of what I saw last week, because last week was in the 4% range, 3 to 4% range. Now they're talking about 8% between now and Friday when this expires. So this tool kind of helps me to figure out the different options change. So if I go back here, I can sort by, let's see, return if flat. Hold on, let me do that again because it does crazy. Yeah, so if I go down to the bottom, so it's showing this FUBO at 8%, right? So this FUBO got the highest, 8%, 6%. Then you see this, and it's the PLTR is not far behind at 5, 4, and 4, right? So I use this tool to kind of help me find it. And so it's kind of ironic because I trade FUBO in general, but when I saw that they even had some of the juicier options on here, and this tool kind of showed me that, I just been sticking with them the last few weeks and just doing that cover call every week. But what you just showed here in relation to doing the secure put, because I just got called away today on that 32, right? So they just pulled it today, actually, literally. And so I'll have the cash, but now if we go back here on the right on the option, look at the option chain here. All right, there it is. It filled in. So would you take this 30? Would you do the 33 secure put, or would you do the 34? If those were the two that you were looking to choose in between.
I think on a stock like this, the way it's going, and because it's November, I'm going to take some risk. And I'm probably going to go out about 3 weeks and put a strangle on this stock. And what I'm looking for, I'm looking at it to react to earnings, go up high, or especially considering how it is right now, it's ready to either break out or break down.
Okay.
So I see a lot of money coming either way.
Okay.
So what I would do is do 33, do a put and do a call on 33.
33 put and then a 30 and a 33 call at the same time?
Yes. And go out 3 weeks on it.
All right. So let me go to 3 weeks.
If you're more risk tolerant, you could go 1 week.
Okay. Well, no, but here's a 3 weeks here. Okay. On the put side.
So what I'm doing there is I'm saying that this stock is gonna not be flat. It is gonna react violently to earnings, up or down. But before I would do this, I would have to go back and see how it behaves around earnings. This is me thinking this just from looking at this little snippet.
Yes, sir.
But that's why I said I'm gonna have to take a look at this, because this is something that I'm actually probably gonna be putting on Monday.
Okay.
But I have got to go and see how it behaves around earnings. If it's really violent, then I'm definitely going to put this trade on, so I can have my ends covered both ways.
All right. So let me make sure I got it right. Let me put it to notes here. So you would buy a what? So you would sell. You would sell the.
No. This is me buying. I'm not selling. I'm not. In other words, I'm not taking premium on this one. This is going to be, like I said, this is a risky trade. What I'm doing is buying things. I'm buying a put. I'm buying a call. They're at the same strike price of 33.
Okay. That's okay. All right. All right, and that would be, what is that? This is November 26th. So we got 21 days, 20 days left. Okay.
Yeah, and I may even bring that in for more risk. And like I said, I have got to take a closer look at this.
Okay.
And basically, I need to look at what happened on earnings, what happened after earnings. Because if somebody, the way some of these stocks react, and the reason I go out like that is some of them fly up real high, only to go down afterward.
Okay, so you're looking at a volatility crush on this play.
Yeah, so I'm looking at probably the day of making a lot of money going up, and then afterwards making a lot of money going down.
Okay.
And hopefully this will be very bad one way or the other. It's like, if it's very good, I don't care about the other option. If it's very bad, I don't care about the other option. If it's neutral, I'm going to be a very sad person.
Got it. Okay. There we go. That ties it up.
This explains why the stock is where it is right now. People are probably making bets on earning right now. That's why it haven't broke up or down.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. This definitely helps. So for everybody else, I know there's a probably a bit more advanced, but it's good to hear it, because it's just like if you learning a new language, very first time you hear it, it just sounds foreign. But the more you hear us kind of talk about these things, and for some of you, you're not going to be interested in this. It may just seem too confusing. For others, it's going to pique your interest. But just hang in there with us. And as we continue to talk about it over and over, you'll start to get a feel for it. And if you got questions, and even in us explaining this, ask them, and we'll go through it. All right. Spell. Okay. So the play is to buy a put and a call at the 33 strike for November 21 expiry. All right. The homework is look at past earnings to kind of see, what they have done. The play is precipitated upon thinking that there's going to be a big move off of the earnings. And then what we want to happen is looking for volatility. Hopefully initially upon earnings release, it's up. And then a few days later, look for it to pull back. And again, the thesis of the trade is you want a big up or big down. Either way, directionally, it doesn't matter. But if it just stays flat, then that's where this trade loses money. Is that fair? Anything else you want to add on that, Milt?
That's exactly it. And plus, if you really like risk, you shorten the time frame.
Okay, let me add that. All right. Kill these other two. It's in the way. Now I can take a picture of this and stick this in the chat for those if y'all want to see this contextually. I'll do all of that. Okay. Let me add that to the chat real quick. For those that want it. Trying to see if I can add a picture in here. Let me see something. 1 second. Yeah, I can. There you go. So I just dropped that screenshot into the chat, so you all can refer to it as you need be, and it's also in the recording. And this is one area, amongst others, but particularly if there's a point that we cover in the meeting here, and it doesn't make sense, listening to it, in real time, you can always go back to the recordings and replay it and just fast forward to the section that you're interested in, and it can give you a basis. So in the recording, looks like it's about an hour and 25 minutes in the recording area, or a little bit before, where we go through and explain that. Okay, no, that was really good, Milt. Thanks for that. So but on the other play, kind of going back, let me see if I go back to this week, because I'm gonna have to study that one a little bit more. I may not get on it on this particular earnings play on that one, Milt, but I think I got it. But in terms of, since I got called away today at the 32, then you're saying I can do either a 33 or 34 put, cash secured put, and then let them put it to me, collect this 261, say on this 33, for instance. And then once it gets put to me, then just go with the covered call until I get called away again, and then just repeat that cycle of doing the cash secured put to put you in the stock. And then once you're in the stock, use the covered calls. As long as the covered calls are not called, if the stock is not called away from you, you just keep writing covered calls. But once it gets called away, the re-entry is always with the cash secured put. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That's very helpful. Very helpful. All right. You got anything else you're looking at, Milt? Well, you know what? Did we finish? I'm sorry. Did we finish the PLTR? Hold on, let me go back. Let's see what you did there, because I think I took us on a tangent with that FUBO. Yeah. What are you doing here on this PLTR right now?
Really, like I said, I have to be very careful with this one, because what I keep telling people is my cost basis is so low on here. Mm-hmm. I can be more aggressive than I normally would. Mm-hmm. I could possibly do the same thing on this stock, but I did not. I just went for 27 for next week. So I told 27 cash secure put for next week is all I did on this one.
Okay. Got it. And you put it on already?
Yes, I put it on Friday.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Yeah, so I'm gonna look to do take that idea that you just gave. I'm gonna look to that entry with the cash secure put at a 33 on that FUBO, and let it put it to me, collect that premium, and then if they put it to me on Friday, if it maintains that level, then next Monday, then I should be able to write the call option against it. Yeah.
Oh, and one other thing, you don't necessarily have to let them do that. It's sort of like, I see the type of premium you get. Mm-hmm. Let's say you have 50% of that premium. You can always take your profit right there.
Yes. Okay. So how much do you take out and exit as opposed to waiting for it to go all the way through to expiration? So
once again, this stock is different.
Well, no, but I mean, just give me like a heuristic though. You don't say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Normally, 50 to 75% of the premium, I'm out.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, you gave me a lot to think about. I gotta spend some time with this, because I've thought about doing the secure put, but not in and I guess it's the same thing, but so really what I was doing recently was just playing these covered calls over and over. So when you told me a couple of weeks ago, he's like, hey Mike, shorten your time frame up and just do the weeklies. I was like, okay. So this week would have been my third weekly on those, because the premiums were good. And so when I computed them, I'm like, man, these things between 3% and 4% each week. I'm like, this is crazy. And so I was just doing that. And so when you throw in the wrinkle today with starting out with the cash secure put, I hadn't even considered that. So yeah. And then the whole, straddle on the earnings, that was just like, oh, okay, we off in the deep waters here. I gotta go back. I used to know what they were, but I haven't played them in so long, like straddles and strangles and that stuff. And so that's advanced. I got to go back and bone up, because I'm just really green in terms of those two strategies. So, but let me see, did I get through everybody? I think we did. Let's see, did I miss anybody? I see. I'm gonna ask somebody to whoever I just hit. We're asked to unmute. I don't know that number, so if somebody can tell. Yes, who's that? somebody can see my screen. 770-363-3666. I just need a name to put in here so I know who I'm speaking to. Somebody's listening on mute. It might, I don't know, it might be Deke. I don't know if Deke calling from his phone or not, because he said he was gonna call in. It might be him. Okay. And they don't have a microphone on, so. Yeah. That's somebody just listening in on the telephone. Okay. Never mind. I think that might be Deke. Did anybody else have any more questions? Any other stocks that we wanted to cover? Siri, did you make it back? Come on, did Siri make it back or no?
Hey, Mike, can I include someone? Can I give you their information?
Yeah, text me that number for them and their name, Angie, because I have a distribution list, and so it's by text. So those texts I send you out in the morning on it's an app I have on my phone. So yeah, so if you send me their name and their number, I'll add them in.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah. And one thing I would encourage you all to do as well, if you have a family member, somebody that's interested, this is what I encourage each of you to do, is you take some time and you start showing them what you know. Now, don't worry about messing up, but one of the things about teaching this stuff is that it helps you to learn, because when you can show someone else, just like what Milton just walked me through in terms of that strategy, when you know it and you can explain it to someone else, it really helps to solidify your learnings, because I've learned a lot just by, having these classes each week. And there's things that I discovered, based upon you all's questions, things you ask, things that we go through, and some of it's just a discovery process. So I would definitely encourage you all to teach somebody else what it is that you know, because it's going to help you tremendously. So, and it's, part of my whole thing for this is just the financial literacy for anybody that wants to learn. Because we know how important, it is, this stuff, because, we go to school, we go get jobs, and, all for the purpose of, making money, providing for our family. This is just another means. So we want to increase the financial literacy such that it can have a positive effect on our life. So, so that's kind of my spiel there. But teach somebody what you know. Brian, you about to say something?
Yeah. Can you take a look at the airlines? I actually jumped into Love this week, and it had a nice little pop. I cannot remember why I did, or if there was news on it that actually did that nice little increase. But
yeah, so
I can't remember what I did last week.
Remember back in September, we got down to the spot, and we showed this several times. So see here at this September, anywhere from September 9th to September 15th, whatever it was, there was a pullback hard in all of these airline stocks. So we can go to any airline stock and see the same thing. And then we got this run up to October 4th or somewhere around in there. But look at this, we got that same pullback down even below again. So again, you chart watchers, y'all should immediately recognize this, right? Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see that? That's that. You should be happy as a kid in a candy store when you see this pattern, right? Because most often than not, this is a buyable entry, either on this third or this fourth one. And if you get to a fifth one, buy it and just watch it. But so I don't know what happened, Brand. I can't tell you what was significant about September 16th, 14th through the 16th, nor what's significant about October 26th through November 1st. But whatever it was good, because if you caught any of this move to the right of that confirmation on a downtrend, That's 11% move in 6 days.
Yeah, I got in on early on the week. I was just
Okay.
wondering if anybody heard what was the big deal. Because like I said, all the airlines just jumped yesterday.
Yeah, so I don't know. So one thing, anytime you see a big move in airline, go check oil.
Mm.
That's just a thing to do, because oil is a huge input cost to the airlines for fuel. So I can see oil just going sideways, down to sideways this past week. So if you say that, if I draw this, now I'm speculating. I don't know. It could be some other industry news that I'm not familiar with. But just looking at oil in isolation of any other news or absence of any other news, I just see oil pull back, right? So if I see oil pull back, I want to see if there's a inverse correlation with the airline. So we just looked at Love. Let's go to DAL. So Angela had mentioned DAL earlier, but look, same thing. So it's probably about pretty close to that same. Let me measure this out. So it was 11% over there. Let's see what this is. That's 14% there. So that was Southwest and Delta. Let's look at American. Same thing. I don't know what happened, Brent, but they're all now. And this is a thing. And we kind of talked about it a little bit with PayPal, Visa, and MasterCard. They were all trading the same. So we've seen 3 stocks here: Delta, American, and Southwest. Let's look at Spirit. Save is a ticker, I believe. Yeah. Same thing. Not quite. I don't know. That was 17 over there. Let's see what this one is. 15. Yeah. I don't know, but it's something that's affecting the entire industry, the airliners. So whatever it was is good for everybody. Whatever this downtrend was, it was bad for everybody. But something happened this week where you got a 14% move, and this is 5 days. So since Monday, this thing was rocking. And another thing here is, look, it's on volume. It's on big volume. So look at that green there, this green here. So the volume has increased in conjunction with this move. I have no idea what it is.
So looking at that volume, you would think about maybe holding it for a little bit longer just to see what happens.
Yeah, so it's a new indicator that I recently found. It's called a volume profile. So what it shows here on this, what this shows is that in a week, and I'm trying to think how far this goes back, but let's just say it goes back here to April. So maybe 6 months. At this point, this 2486, this is where the most volume of this stock has gone out at that price. So in this area is where the most buyers and sellers have occurred. So when you got down here to this 22 area, you just, and it's reflected. So it's kind of intuitive a bit. You have less buyers and sellers down here, and even so they're probably even distributed. So I think the blue is the buyers, the yellow is the sellers, and so or the orange is the sellers. So but you don't have as much volume at this level. When volume dries up, typically the run stops. But you can see here we got a lot of volume here at this 25. So again, I don't know what caused the move, but I would look to so look at this here. So you say this peak, that peak, and this peak. So you probably, in terms of this run, you should be looking for 2734 as a possible, and particularly if this is a trade, I would be, that's where I would be looking to get out. So you got another $2.32 in it, particularly. And now if the run is powerful enough, if it breaks this area, you got a little bump right here at 28, but now you're talking 33 might be back in play, depending upon how powerful this particular run is. And again, since this is just not happening in one stock, it's happening in the other stocks. So again, I don't know what the catalyst is. So you see here, you know, this last move, you got another $3 in it in Delta. If you go back to Love, let's see where that last move. That last move was to 56. So you got another $4 in that move. You see what I mean? So
Yeah. All right.
yeah. So did I answer the question, Brent?
Yeah, basically keep a watch on it and watch those volume levels and see watch that top point there.
Yeah. And I would, you know, now let me ask you, is this a trade or is this a long term?
Nah, it was a trade.
Yeah. Definitely watch those levels. Keep an eye on the oil, and then, you know, Google it and just see if you can find some news.
Yeah.
I will pull up those 4 different tickers, Yahoo, Google Finance, and see if you can find a narrative. And actually, you can try this site here, Finviz, FINVIZ, because a lot of times they have. Matter of fact, let's just do it real quick. Let me just pull up Love. Let me see what they're saying. All right, so it says why. Okay, here we go. Why, and here it is. Why are airline stocks flying high? There's positive signs that the recovery is entering a new phase. All right, Delta Airlines seeing strong uptick in international bookings, rising hopes that the international demand is beginning to recover. Delta news, coupled with the strong economic data points, have investors excited about the direction the airline industry is headed. Investors should be warned the recovery will not happen overnight. So it say here, economic data is strong. Travelers are returning to the skies. Airlines are soaring. Delta, American, United, Southwest, JetBlue. You know, that's the only one I think we didn't look at was JetBlue, and Spirit, all up more 6%. So I think that's your. I'll put this in the chat for you. You know, so that's just looking at one data point, but it seems to be a pretty good reason. Yep. All right. Okay. Anybody else?
Mike, I want to talk to a few things that
Yes,
I think we have forgotten. We actually have gone over the airlines toward the end of the year and holiday travel. Also, the Vegas trade at the end of the year. Those are things we already covered before. I wonder if this may be the start of those. And also, the infrastructure bill is coming up too.
Oh, those are great points. You can expound on each one of those if you want. Go ahead.
Now, I think they'd have heard enough of me talking, but
Hey, they tired of hearing me, man. Go ahead.
If y'all go back to some of the other ones, Brenda, I think you were the one that was that first brought it up about the airlines and about the end of year travel.
Yeah, which is why I dipped back in, because I had pulled some profits. And then this week, like I said, I kind of dipped back in. I was just kind of surprised, though, about that move yesterday and didn't know if any of you guys had heard anything.
Yeah, I had, Brent, I remember we had looked at that last bump here back in September, and we seen the run up, but I hadn't paid attention in the last few weeks, so I missed all of the you know, this downtrend and then the subsequent uptrend in the last few days. So yeah. So I wasn't paying attention.
But that was a good reminder about the Vegas stuff, because I had forgotten to take a look at those stocks and the hotels and stuff. I hadn't been paying no attention to those guys.
Oh, in terms of pandemic play?
End of the holiday, our discussion about holiday.
The holidays. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, the holidays. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I forgot about that as well. Yeah,
which is why I kind of hate I miss Airbnb, because I had thought about it last month and just forgot to put a buy in. That was just a stupid miss right there.
Well, you know what? That's a good point. I'll take your pain as a teaching point, but we all do it. So
thanks, Mike. Thanks.
Yeah. I appreciate.
So if you really want some pain, then I'm going to admit I got snapped. How
Do
about
what I
that?
can. Do what I can. Do what I can. Do what I can.
So here's some real pain. I got to admit, I got snapped, and I had thought about bailing out before the earnings, and I totally blew that one. It's like, oh crap! Now I got to keep it until next year.
Do you have an account, Bryn, that you can do options in?
Not yet. I'm listening to you guys, and like you're saying, I'm hearing it more and more. It's making more sense. There's just a little bit much of my brain at the moment where I just don't have enough to really dig into it to understand it. But I'm pending that for next year. That's going to be my learning goal, to start dipping into that.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, if you own 100 shares, you can start selling a covered call against it to start trying to recover some of this gap that you suffered from the 70s to the 50s. Yeah. So I'll just leave it at that. You can come back when you say, okay, now I'm ready, and we can go into it more.
Yeah, it's a good thought. All right.
Right. Yeah. So and tell me about the Vegas trade again. I didn't catch that one. What is that? Milt, I think you mentioned that.
Actually, that was another one of Brenda's ideas. So she probably could talk to us more about that.
Vegas? So what people go to Vegas during the holidays? Is that the thing? Or
Yeah, we were wondering about that. What's going to pick up this fourth quarter, and now as things are starting to open up. So it's kind of both when you look at that Vegas end of things.
Okay. So this is part of the recovery trade in general.
Yeah, recovery
Okay.
and end of year travel.
Yeah, but
with the holidays.
So is Vegas a big destination for the holidays? I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of ignorant on that.
I know two group of people that's going to Vegas over the holiday period. So that should tell you something, just a random indicator.
I didn't even know that was a thing, that people go to Vegas for the holidays.
Yeah, and then I was wondering with the conferences opening up too, but I've been to CES one time, and I was thinking about going to that at the top. That's at the top of the year, so I was wondering if those conferences are starting to open back up as well.
Okay, that's really interesting. I didn't think about any of that stuff. Yeah, I didn't even think about the conference. Yeah, conference circuits have been killed. Okay, wow. Yeah, that one got by me. Okay, good stuff. Hey, this is I tell you, so I was on the phone last night with some crypto people, and what I'm about to say is applies here. We can be much more powerful as a group than we can, as individuals, because just this last few minutes, just in terms of you all bringing different perspectives in, and we're able to share on this, kind of synthesize this information to make decisions upon, is really good. So, this group thing works. It works. So definitely appreciate everybody's input. Any other questions before we drop out? It's been a good session. I definitely appreciate the interaction. I learned something, so it's good. Oh yeah, come on. You asked me about. I'm sorry. I see you got your hand up. You asked me about that crypto.
Yeah, hi sir.
Hey, how you doing, Siri?
Yeah, good sir. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Yeah, just I want to know about SHIB.
All right, let's talk SHIB, Siri. Let's see. So this is back over toward the crypto. So Angela, hopefully you can hear. I'm not sure if you're still on. Let me see. Yeah, hopefully you can hear us, Angela. All right. So crypto wise, so SHIB is okay. SHIB is a cryptocurrency that has gained a lot of attention here lately. So this is the chart. Now, one of the things about SHIB, so let me go out. So if any of you are following crypto, you want to go to this site called coingecko.com, right? This is the coin market cap. So again, market cap is nothing but the price of an instrument times the number of outstanding shares. That's all market cap means, right? And it's applicable for stocks and crypto. So go down here. So SHIB, the name of it is called Shiba Inu. It's a spinoff of the Dogecoin, dog, meme coin, blah, 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 right? So they just creating all these different dog themed coins and people are buying them like crazy. So the thing is, the circulating supply is so many zeros. I don't know if I can count that high. So that's 100,000 million, billion, trillion. Is that 1 trillion? It might be 1 trillion. I think it's 1 trillion total supply. So the supply is outrageous, right? It's just, it doesn't make any sense. But for whatever reason, I think this is, so it's a meme coin. It's a FOMO play. FOMO means fear of missing out. And I think it's, again, in sympathy to a lot of people miss Doge, right? So Doge was a coin that came out, actually made by some IBMers back in 2013. And it really came out as a joke, right? But this thing was as cheap as this thing is here in the SHIB, and now it's 25 cents. So if you had, a couple million or maybe a couple 100 million of these, you could have had some serious money. So a lot of people got rich off of Doge. SHIB is trying to follow in that same trend, and there's a great deal of people from this retail trade phenomenon because of the pandemic. A lot of people have gotten into trading, stocks and cryptos. So SHIB has been a beneficiary of that. Okay, so that's the little bit of the narrative on it. So now, technically, looking at the chart, SHIB is so let me go to a weekly. So you can see SHIB here. It came out back in May. So it was at. So I'll just talk about the last last 4 numbers. So it was at 1797. It got as low as 633. But then you can see here, and this is a weekly. So last week, so 2 weeks ago, this thing got to 80. What's that? 88.54. So you say 88.54, from 577 to 88.54. So if you happen to be down in this area and you went up here and you held, a couple 100 million shares, you made a lot of money. There was a guy, they said, that spent, I want to say $1,000 or $8,000. And I think he's like a multi-millionaire just on this trade. So, so that's really it. It's a lot of people that's hoping that this thing is going to get to a penny. So if you just look at what this is priced in US dollars. So you're talking 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So every zero represents a 10x. So it's like, one order of magnitude, I think, is 1,000. So it's 1,000%. So you're saying 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million. So if you get to 1 penny, I think that's 1,000,000% if I'm doing my math right. It's either 100,000% or 1,000,000%. So people are just hoping that enough other people will come behind them, buy this, and push this thing to higher heights. Now, from a project perspective, they're saying that the SHIB development team is making, solving real world problems and trying to get SHIB into, payments and other true uses for the token beyond just speculation. Now, I don't follow SHIB enough personally. I mean, I got some just for, hey, if it goes up and it makes me some money, fine. But I haven't really followed it enough. I will have to get one of my other crypto friends that really are in SHIB a lot, and they could speak to it more. So, but just in terms of Siri, just in terms of the chart, just looking at this chart. So if I go back to a daily, if I just look at this objectively from a chart perspective, so we do it like we chart everything. Draw your highs. I can take these areas here kind of as a base, corresponds there. Do this again right in here. And this is my base. I'll draw my trend line. Trend was broken. Draw my downtrend. That's pretty much what we got. And then you got a little bit of what is called ascending triangle here. And this pattern in trading, ascending triangle, is basically, think about it as almost like if you take a spring and you put a spring in between both of your fingers and you push it together. The closer this gets toward the right of this triangle, the more pressure that spring has. And if you move your fingers and get it unaligned, the spring will just pop and the energy will release. That's the concept around the ascending triangle. So if this continues to get tighter and tighter, that spring or that pressure is going to build more and more, and you're going to get either an explosion to the bottom or an explosion to the top. You just don't know which direction. So, that's, yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Nothing, sir, nothing.
Yeah. So what's your thesis on SHIB, Siri?
No, just I follow the some kind of Google News. That's why I buy these this SHIB one. That's what.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: do you have friends and stuff that's buying it as well? What are they saying about it?
No, I don't have any friends.
Okay, so no friends are buying it. Okay.
Yeah, one general question, sir. Sometimes I follow these news and I bought these some kind of stocks. Is it good or not?
Yeah, this is one of these things where it's highly speculative. If you throw a small amount, so let's say your portfolio, just to make the numbers easy, say you got $100 portfolio, right? And you say, hey, I want to allocate some of that $100 towards SHIB. I would say put no more than $15 to $20 in SHIB. So 15 to 20% in SHIB, and then take the other 70 to 80%, 85%, and allocate it toward other stocks or cryptos that's much more mature and solid. So if you want to allocate, again, 10 to 15%, maybe 20% to a speculative project, that's fine. Because again, you want to diversify. Because if you lose so think about it the other way. Let's say SHIB goes to zero and you lose all your money in it. Will you really be upset if you lost 20% of the 100% in the speculative play? Now, you probably won't like it, but will it affect your lifestyle? Probably not if you're talking a $100 portfolio and you spent $20 on SHIB, right? So just as an example. So that's what I would say. In my portfolio, I think I spent $40 on SHIB probably a month ago. And, so it's like whatever $40 would end up turning to be, I'll take it, right? But if I lose $40, I'm not going to cry. And I could have put more in. I didn't, because it was just, I didn't think that enough people would even take this mean thing and run with it. But here's something that we're in a new realm now. Because of the pandemic, people are looking for a multitude of ways to make money. A lot of money has come into crypto, into stocks, and you have a new class of retail traders that, say, maybe 5 years ago didn't exist, and particularly as was accelerated with the pandemic. As a result of that, they do things that maybe was perceived 5 years ago as being very irrational, but it's so many of them that they become their own self-fulfilling prophecy. So if enough of them get on Twitter, they talk up a particular stock or a particular crypto, and they all start buying. Whereas before it would be like, I can't believe that somebody would do this. but they're doing it, and they're turning markets. And so this is a phenomenon that you have to pay attention to, but at the same time, it seems a little irrational at times. So that's pretty much all I can say on that. If anybody else has any comments on that, or what they feel about just the power of the retail trader and them, kind of self-organizing, that, I'd be interested to hear your feedback. Everybody don't talk at once.
I think that's a good comment when it comes to SHIB. Kurt's been pushing it, and so I said, fine, Kurt. So I finally bought some, even though it's been going down this week. But my thought is, if they can get those Robinhood folks, because I know that there's this whole petition about trying to get it on Robinhood, blah, blah, blah. So like you, I just put a couple bucks in, and I'm like, fine, if they can rally the troops and get it on Robinhood, and it does a nice little bounce up like the crazy GameStop and some of those others that I missed on. Though I did catch, there was one run up that they did on silver. I happened to have been holding one of the silver stocks, and it went up crazy, and I happened to catch that. So like you're saying, it's kind of irrational, but I'm like, if they can get behind it and put it on Robinhood and it all of a sudden takes off, then I didn't lose anything with the dollars that I put into it. But also, like you said, I made sure it was just dollars. I didn't care if I lost them or not. I didn't put much in.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I put like $25 in. I didn't put like a whole lot. I just wanted to see what it's going to do.
Okay. Oh, so this was the one that you were looking at as well, Angela? Shit.
Yes.
Okay. Now, it's funny. So we're all in different parts of the country, right? And we're all heard about SHIB. So it speaks to the power of the marketing that they've done for it, just for all of us to be talking about it. You know what I mean? So they've been effective at marketing. You can definitely say that. And actually even a little bit better than marketing, because, it's 4 of us on the call, at least they own it, right? So you can say it's working. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's, don't put any more money in it than you're willing to lose. And if you happen to get rich on it, I'm happy for everybody that does. I mean, that's the only thing I can say to it, because I don't know how to measure and gauge this type of stuff. So I was telling you, I was on a call last night, and basically these group of people, they're trading all kinds of stocks all kinds of cryptos that fit into this mode. And we probably talked, we were on the phone probably for, or a Zoom session for probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And I know that they probably went through 7 to 12 different stocks. I was like, 12 different cryptos, buying and selling and talking about them and researching them and saying this and showing you the tools you use, how to look it up and all this. I was like, this is exhausting. I can't keep up. It was exhausting. But they have the temperament for it, and they've made crazy amounts of money, guys. So I don't say that as an endorsement, nor do I say it as a, speaking ill to it. I'm just saying that it's an opportunity, and, caveat, that you in the disclaimer, just don't get hurt. That's the best thing I can say. If you're going to play in it, play in it with, some throwaway money. And if you happen to, hit it good, take that and then roll it. Now, one thing I would say as well, and this goes for stock, crypto, any investment, right? Art, NFTs, whatever. If you make a lot of money on something, I would say this: take some of what you made and do something tangible with it that you can say, okay, I can say, what do I have to show for that, particular gain? And, and if you can do some things and you can point to where you made a real, where that investment, that speculation made a real difference, in your life in some manner, whatever, you choose to say is meaningful, do that, because this stuff comes fast, particularly in the speculative arena, and it can go fast. That would be my request for you. If you make a lot, stick some to the side, do something meaningful with it, and leave the rest in there to play if you choose to do so. So, Milt, you got any wisdom on that?
Normally with things like that, the first thing you said, you make it so quick and it disappears so quick. So you have to take profit on the way up. You don't want to, you're going to, oh my God, if I kept it in there, I would have just made this much. You can't think that way, because you may wind up in the negative before you know it.
Great point. Take profits. Good stuff.
Yeah, I think to that point, I think in my brain, I equate it to that one game show where everybody asks questions, and each right question, the bank goes up, but there's always that one player that's always like bank, just to bank the amount, and then it resets. So I'm like, okay, I need to be that player, not just keep answering questions, hoping the amount keeps going up, and then all of a sudden you get it wrong and you lose everything. Like he was saying, along the way, it's just like, okay, bank. And that way I don't have major regret.
Yes, ma'am. And one thing I would add to that is, the longer you stay in this investing, trading game, you're gonna see these things come and go. So the best thing that I would say is, don't think 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, right? You still want to be in this game. So if, we look out 10 years later, let's say SHIB does what it does, then it dies, right? And let's say you had opportunity to make a lot of money, and then it died and a lot of people lost money. In the grand scheme of a 10-year, 20-year span, SHIB just should be a thing where, yeah, we caught the SHIB. Yeah, I made a little money on it. Oh yeah, I made a lot of money on it. I took some to the side because it crashed. Because it's just going to be a small entry on a long timeline, and you just want to make it, a positive experience as much as possible. Particularly if it gave you the opportunity, just take it. Because there's going to be a SHIB, there's going to be something else. A year from now, 2 years from now, maybe a couple days from now, there's going to be something else out there, and it's going to be another speculative play. But again, you just want to, keep banking profits where you can. So, all right. Any other questions before we end? All right. As always, I appreciate your time. Questions were great. Very good dialogue. Again, share with others. Teach what you know. Keep doing your watch lists, keep doing your charting, and apply this to things that you all own. Apply these techniques to things that you own, and see what you discover. And as you discover things, come back to the group and let us know and share, because the sharing, as we could see, it helps us all. So thanks for the time, and we'll do it again next week. Appreciate it.